I got my water bottle right here because I get so thirsty when I do episodes. I don't know how people do long form content without like constantly drinking water. My throat gets so dry. Is there something wrong with me? Please leave me a comment if there is. Otherwise, I'm just gonna keep drinking water. Ah. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Sean, and this is Sean Turns Up the Volume. I got so many things to say, so little time to say it. So, what I want to talk about today is how you can survive being pulled over by the police if you are a law-abiding gun owner. I will share my story and tell you how I survived. Okay, I'm being super dramatic. This is just something I thought about because I know that one of the things that is assigned to my white privilege is like, I don't know, like to not be shot by the police or something like that. At least that's how like racist, like liberal people would frame it. So I wanted to share my story because I am a law-abiding gun owner. I have a concealed carry permit, have for a long, long time, for much of my adult life. And I've carried a gun on and off legally for times through my life. So, you know, pew pew. I'm a big proponent of self-defense, always have been. In fact, that's one of the core things that have always kept me on the political right, and why the left couldn't get their little claws into me and how they could never deceive me into their side, because I always knew they wanted to get the guns, and they do. They look at every opportunity as an opportunity, every crisis as an opportunity to take away our rights. Of course, they don't care if Antifa has guns or gun clubs because, well, if they didn't have double standards, they wouldn't have any standards at all. Right, you know, they want the state alone to have guns, but then they also say that the state is an oppressive system, and that, you know, that the police need to be defunded and they're anti-military, but they also think these are the only groups that should have guns. It's not super consistent, but this is coming from politicians who have their own armed security and police protection too, and their own carry permits. So, anyway, I digress, as I always do. I'm a little more focused when I'm in the therapy office, but I don't have to be focused here. So, my story. This is not all that interesting of a story. I was driving along the road one day in my hometown. It was the evening. It was nighttime, and I think I had like a tail light out or a headlight out or something. It's like the kind of stereotype thing, like, sir, you have a light out, and so that's why I pulled you over. And I think it was true. I think I did have a headlight out or something. Anyway, I'm driving along, and I'm timid when it comes to like authority figures like that, the police, things like that. Much of my life, I was more of a shy kind of person. It's kind of crazy to be on YouTube, and I'm in a profession where I talk to people all the time because I'm kind of an introvert. I'm like an extroverted introvert. Anyway, the lights go on behind me, and I don't love to see it when the lights go on behind me, because, you know, when I'm driving around, I kind of feel like I'm the minnow and police cars are sharks. It's like, I think police are great. I love the police. I love what they do. They keep our society safe. You know, they're maintaining law and order, and we want some of that, and our tax dollars go to that. And sure, like, there are all sorts of complexities with that and ins and outs, that there's certainly, as with any profession, there's corruption and things, and yet on the whole, I think that most of them are great and trying to do a good job, and I love it, and I'm thankful for it. At the same time, when the lights come on behind you, it's like, oh crap, what's that mean? Did I do something wrong? It's like sharks and minnows. It's like, uh-oh, I've been found. They're coming, right? So a little anxiety shows up, a little tension. It's like, did I do something wrong? Was I going too fast? What is it? And so, okay, what to do when the lights show up, when the police car is there? and they're coming up behind you. Um, I'm gonna give this talk to my own kids. If the talk you're giving to your kids is any other way than this, then I don't know. But the talk that I will give my kids is: you see the lights show up behind you, you're gonna slow down, pull over. This is what I did: slow down, pull over, come to a stop, like put it into park. I'm trying to remember here as I share this. You know, you don't want to be making any sudden movements and things. I am trying to recall because it's been many years since this happened, but I think I just waited for him to come up to the window and just remain very still. I think I followed whatever directions he gave me. So listen to the directions they give you. I think I kept my hand on the wheel. I might have gotten my wallet out of my pocket because I often used to wear cargo pants, and so it would be right there. So I might have had my ID at the ready. So do make sure you have your ID. They're going to ask for that. Um, and then I think he directed me to roll down my window. I can't remember if I rolled it down myself or if I waited for his command, but do wait for them to give you instructions for what to do. Um, they have to flip in the moment from like for the police officer, you're an unknown um, entity, right? You could be a peaceful, kindly person that's just talking with them and just has a headlight out, or you could be a person who is being deceptive and playing along, and then all of a sudden about to pull out a gun, right? I've seen countless, because of YouTube and things, I've seen countless videos of officer involved shootings that come up where things go like this. I don't think the public realizes, at least I don't think the people who don't like the police realize that things go from just a normal conversation to like, boom, somebody's pulling out a gun and trying to shoot at the cop in an instant. So they have to be able to flip from like, this person's nice and just giving me their ID, to all of a sudden there's like a Glock. So anyway, listen to what they instruct you to do. Don't make any sudden movements. Have like your hands on the wheel and just wait for them to tell you what to do, and then be careful. And so that's the kind of thing that I did when the officer came over to me, right? I followed his directions. I think he probably directed me to like license and registration. So I reach over, I get my registration, I keep in the glove box, and I tell him, I can't remember if he asked or not, but I tell him I do have a gun on me. I have a carry permit. I've got a gun. And so he asks me about that. And so then he directs me to give me the firearm, or to give him the firearm. And so I very carefully, listening to his instructions, if I'm remembering this accurately, I very carefully pull out the holster with the gun in it. I hand it to him, and he takes it and puts it back into his police car. And so he tells me that he had actually been, in the past, he'd been shot in the vest, and so his procedure is to ask anybody who's got a gun to give it to them, and he brings it over so that you, the person pulled over, aren't going to have your gun on you while he's running the license plate stuff. So I listen to him, I comply, he does that. He does his thing on his end from his car. I sit there patiently, just waiting, still, a little nervous, still. It's uncomfortable interaction. I have family in law enforcement, and my undergrad was criminal justice, so I was surrounded with people who would become cops someday. They're probably out there still, cops or lawyers. At the same time, it's still, I don't know, if you're wired like me, it's still kind of intimidating, right? Not everybody feels that way, but I don't know, that's how I feel. It's like authority figure, intimidating. So anyway, comes back, a little chit chat. He drops the mag out of the gun, tosses the gun and the mag in the back seat, so it's not like directly accessible to me. And thank you, have a good evening, get the light fixed. And then off I go, safely back home. Then I can get the light fixed. Totally safe, good interaction, no problems, polite, listening to his instructions, no sudden movements. nothing dangerous happening, not being offensive, not having an attitude, not using foul language, not being like, you know, I don't know, belligerent to the officer, just being respectful, slow, calm, peaceful, right? Then you leave safely, he leaves safely, he gets to have a good interaction with the public, you get to have a good interaction with law enforcement, everybody wins. Okay, so that is the kind of instruction that my kids will get, and that is the kind of instruction probably your kids should get. Right? You can have your own version of that, but that is the way that you should interact with the police. Now, that again, the story I just shared would be called white privilege, or the peaceful interaction would be ascribed to that, or the respectful interaction might be ascribed to that because the officer was white. And you know what? Nope, doesn't matter. Like, the skin color doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what their skin color is. Doesn't matter what my skin color is. I can only control me. I am going to be respectful. I am going to stay as best as I can, just calm and steady, and follow directions in those kind of situations. And that's what you need to do. And if you do that, you're going to have a fine interaction with law enforcement, hopefully. And if not, then if something does happen and you're doing everything you need to do to be peaceful and calm and in control of yourself, well, then you can always make your complaint when you get your day in court, and lawyer up if something were to happen and you did have a bad interaction, but it wasn't your fault. So it's much better to live and fight that in court if you did happen to have a bad interaction with law enforcement. But the way you should be trying to be and teaching your kids to be when interacting with police is like this: slow, careful, listen, follow their instructions, no rapid movements. I'm sure there's a bazillion videos on YouTube talking about that kind of thing. But if you do these kinds of things, you're going to have a safe interaction with law enforcement, even if you've got a gun on you. You listen and do what they say, and you'll hopefully have a fine time. So just thought I would share that and the random things that crop up to my mind that I could talk about on YouTube. So not talking, well, anyway, I was going to say if I'm not talking politics, but politics worked its way even into this video. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I've got more stuff to talk about. So I'll catch you later. Please like and subscribe if you like this kind of content. Please leave a comment below, and I will see you next time after I drink lots and lots of water.